What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today we'll be getting into the latest Arsenal news as this man behind me in the background is inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. One of the greatest managers in Premier League history. For me, the greatest manager in Arsenal history. And we're going to talk about Father Wenger. A father to many growing up, people. A father to many growing up. Some people even thought he was Arsenal. Arsene Wenger. People thought he was named after the club or the club was named after him. Anyway, a very important part of our history. He gets the green screen today. Listen, I'm never going to sit here and pretend there wasn't frustrating times with Arsene Wenger, because there was. And I still think towards the end of his tenure that, you know, things were going the wrong way. But I also like to give him respect for what he did achieve and the levels that he put this country, the football in this country on, and Arsenal, you know. So big up Wenger. I'm going to talk about him in more detail. Big up to everyone in the comments. Hope you're well. Zaneid becomes a new member. Hope you are well. I am going to do another member stream shortly. Hopefully this week, actually. And because we did do one last week, but I didn't get to speak to everybody. Well, everyone got on, but some of you had to come off the stream pretty quick as we was rounding up. So I'm definitely going to do another member stream. So welcome to the community, bro. Listen, we're a few days away from the next Arsenal game on Saturday against Leeds United at home. Looking forward to that game and hoping that this is the start of a great run for Arsenal, and it should be a game that we should be able to win, if I'm being totally honest. But of course, you never know in the Premier League. We found that out the hard way against Bournemouth. We had to fight to win that one. Final countdown, man. Big up South London's finest, man. It's the final countdown. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Are we gonna win the league, people? Please. I can't lie yet. I look at the last couple of years. We came back from the international break going, can we get Europa League 2 years ago? We finished 8th. Last year we came back going, can we get top 4? We finished 5th. This year we're saying, can we win the league? Please change the narrative. Because even though this has been a very good season, I can't deal with another, ending that feels like we failed at the end, man. I can't. I need to see us win that title, man. I just want to be at the parade with all the fans, and just enjoying ourselves. We deserve it, man. 18 years of pain. End it, please, Mikel. Put us out of our misery. You must, they said. Listen, I said the other day, man, I'm on the you must side of things. We must win the league. I'm touching the badge. We must win the league. We need to bring that golden, generation back. I've said it many times. I believe Arsenal have lost a generation of fans. I'm being totally honest. I think we've lost a generation of fans. I think there would have been a generation that, if you was growing up in that generation where we had Shamak and Bentner and Sonogo and Andre Santos, even if your mum and dad's an Arsenal fan, you might have gone in a different direction. It's the reality of the situation. My dad's a Liverpool fan. He tried to get me to support Liverpool, but, I kind of went in my own direction. I believe we lost a generation. They got to get that generation back now, man, and we need a title. Anyway, let me stop waffling on, people. No more waffle settings from me. Let's talk about Mr. Wenger. I'm going to give him his flowers. I'm going to try and concentrate on the positives. We know not everything was great, right? Let's get it out the way. Selling Van Persie, selling Sanchez, 8-2 at Old Trafford, 2006 Champions League final. Listen, there were many painful moments, right? Missing out on Luis Suarez and whatever. But we get them out the way. This guy is so important to this football club and always will be. He should have a statue outside the ground, in my opinion. And he provided the best footballing years we've ever seen as Arsenal fans. We're hoping those times come back. One thing that I've always said that I think is a little bit controversial, but I stand by it, is I think that considering how good we were, how good he was and the team we had, I think we underachieved a little bit. I'm going to be totally honest, and people will go, well, you was invincible. How can you underachieve? What I'm saying is we won 3 Premier Leagues. I think we should have won 5 or 6. I think we should have won at least 1 Champions League in that time. But listen, he's an icon. He deserves the statue. And he's been inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame this morning. Him and his old rival, Sir Alex Ferguson, they're the 2 first managers to be inducted, which I think is well deserved. They're the 2 biggest icons of Premier League management, and the rivalry that they had. This is the guy that went invincible, the guy that, you know, sold Anelka and bought Thierry Henry and built a training ground. I mean, he's a legend. But yeah, hopefully he gets the statue. And I think if we win the league this year, that would be the great time to build the statue of him. So, Hall of Famer. Yeah, the Birmingham City League Cup loss was a painful one as well. Such a legend, but did tarnish himself. As I said, for me, Mike Tyson growing up was my favourite boxer. I used to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning watching Tyson fight in Vegas on Diamond Cable back in the day. If you know, you know. But as I got older, he was getting knocked out by Danny Williams on Channel 5 at 6 o'clock after home and away. It just, you know, something just didn't sit right. And I kind of feel like Arsene Wenger was getting knocked out by Danny Williams on Channel 5 at 6:30 in the Europa League towards the end. You know, he tarnished the legacy slightly for me. Should have left after winning one of those FA Cups, but it is what it is. Brilliant manager, legend of a manager. I think he was so emotionally attached, he found it hard to let go. Will always be a legend. Was like a second dad to most Arsenal fans. So Arsene Wenger in the Hall of Fame. And well-deserved. 828 Premier League matches, 476 wins, 1,561 goals scored, 15 Manager of the Months, 3 Premier League, 7 FA Cups, 7 Community Shields, 49 matches unbeaten from May 2003 to October 2004. A legend. Big up man like Arsene Wenger. Get that statue. Probably this picture here of him holding up the gold. Me, because I'm quite, you know, I've got a wicked sense of humour, I think it would be funny him trying to zip up the jacket. But, you know, I don't think Arsenal have got that kind of sense of humour. So we put him up holding the gold trophy. Apparently Fitz has kicked the door off and let off the whole clip. Respect to Wenger, however, he should have won at least 2 Champions Leagues, especially with all the talent at his disposal. Cheers, Fitz. Thank you very much. You're not lying, though. You're not. That one where we lost to Chelsea in the semi-final and the Champions League final to Barcelona, you know, could have won both. Should have at least won one of them. But big up to you, Fitz, as always. He doesn't mix his words, that's for sure. Big up Black, who said, big up Big C. Rodri rattled. We're winning this one. I don't know if anybody saw, but Rodri yesterday plays for Spain away in Scotland. Big up Scotland and big up man like Kieran Tierney, because Kieran Tierney was back to his very best yesterday. Bombing up and down that left-hand side. Looked like a great performance, what I saw of him, right? Even McTominay's bagging 2 goals. Scotland roughed up Spain, beat them 2-0. Bang! Fair play to them. Rodri does the interview after the game, and it's excuse after excuse after excuse. He's saying it's not real football. You shouldn't be able to be that physical and all of that kind of foolishness. I'm like, brother, did you see the tackle what you put on Martin Odegaard's ankle at the weekend for Spain? I didn't hear no complaints then, bro. I didn't hear no apologies then. I'm starting to dislike Rodri. I can't lie. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting frustrated with Rodri. Coming in like that with them mad tackles. Then when Scotland rough you up a little bit, what? You can't handle it? Nah, man, I'm not here for that. Rodri, fix up. You're rattled. We need to win the title by any means. We're starting to build a real rivalry with Man City, man. I didn't like that. Man's crying. Give Scotland their credit, man. Scotland turned you over 2-0. Just hold that, man. Gotta hold that. So, Rodri, man, sort yourself out. Wait till we play against you. We're going to rough you up as well, brother. His words were, for me, it was rubbish. because it's always wasting time. They provoke you. They always fall over. For me, this is not football. And then he goes on to say it was overly physical and the referee should have stopped them from the constant fouling. I'm not going to say too much. Let's win the league. And then I'll say what I need to say about Rodri. Because if they win it, then, you know, I can't speak. But we need to win the title. I don't like Rodri anyway. He's the master of tactical fouls, so I don't know why he's complaining. But anyway, Renitsu Curtis, the away kit leaks are so bad. Potential English champions, UEFA Champions League return and Invincibles 2-decade anniversary, and they give us this. Well, seeing as you're talking about kits, let's get into kits. I actually didn't have the picture of the leaked away kit up, but I've got the home kit. Right, let's have a look at these leaked kits for next season, people. Big up Renetsu with the super chat. Yeah, Pep definitely sent him to do some damage. Anyway, let's talk about these kits and let me know what you think. We've seen the home kit before, but I think this one is going to happen now because it's being leaked everywhere. So this looks as if this is going to be the home kit for next season. There's a few pictures of it. This one's probably the best one. Arsenal going with this gold sort of theme, the gold badge, the gold Adidas, and then the white Emirates fly better with the gold stripes down the side, going back to the round neck. I don't mind it. Listen, for me, the biggest thing, just make sure you're Premier League champions, and then we can put the gold Premier League badges on the sleeves. What's your opinion on this kit? LSU said, I hate the gold. I don't like it, not feeling it. It looks cheap. The thing is, in the initial leaks, it didn't have no pattern on it. Now, all of a sudden, it's got this, like, zigzag pattern on it. There it is again. Yeah, the gold. Obviously, we've had gold before. A lot of you not really liking the gold. A few of you are. I'm liking it. Pretty basic. Gold for... Listen, I always say... You remember the kits by how successful you were in them. We've had some great kits over the year and not won anything in them, and I don't care about them. I love the kits where we won things in. You know, even the Arsenal kit that we went invincible in. It's not an amazing kit, but because of what it means, I love it. At the moment, I mean, Wasim said, I'm not keen, but I'll be running to the armoury. Do you know what? It depends what happens. If we win the league, I'm buying this kit and I'm buying all of them. You know what I mean? I'll have the champions badges on all of them. If somehow City nick it off us, I don't want nothing to do with them. So, what's your thoughts, people? Obviously, you've seen it before, but it looks as if now it's being confirmed. This is going to be the new Arsenal home kit for next season with the gold Adidas stripes, gold Arsenal badge, and the gold Adidas on there as well. But this zigzag, I don't know. Listen, for me, it's all right. Will I be buying it? Probably. If we win the title, I'll be outside there the day that comes out, mate. No messing about, I tell you. We're going merch mad if we win the title. Anyway, that's the home kit. Now, let's look at the away kit. This is the away kit. I mean... let me get the picture up of it. I'm making that noise because I'm not that impressed. This is the away kit, apparently, for next season. I mean, I'm not a fan. What's this red and black on the collar? That's like Man United's colours. The best yellow kit we had was the Bruised Banana one a few seasons ago. That, I don't know for me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with that. You know, another pea-stained kit. Max said they're trying too hard. I'm just not sure about this one. Yeah, why do they... Arsenal's like original is the yellow kit. What's all this glow-in-the-dark neon green business that we're dealing with, man? I don't get it. I'm not a fan of it. Nick, you're spot on. That looks like a goalkeeper's kit. It really does. It looks like a goalie kit. I mean, don't get me wrong. Forgive me if we win the league and you see me wearing this on a stream. Just keep it moving. It is what it is, but... Unless we're winning the league, you ain't seeing me in that kit. I can't lie. I'm not feeling that one at all. I don't know where this, like, yellow's coming from. there is actually a leak of the third kit as well. Although people are saying that the stripes are not true because it looks like the France pack stripes. So let me show you the potential third kit. Again, these aren't confirmed. This is the leaked picture of the third kit. Now, I don't mind that one. Again, what's all these patterns? They're going gold again as well. It looks like I don't see how we would have the French stripes on the side of the kit. That one, I don't think that one's too bad. But none of these are confirmed. None of these are confirmed, by the way. I wouldn't mind that one. I think that one's all right. They're obviously thinking we're going to win the league. That's why they're putting gold all over them. Maybe it's the Vavavoom era people. Is that a collar? That's a good point. Let me zoom in on that. I actually can't. No, I don't think it is. No, I think it's just a bit darker around the edge. But yeah, these apparently are the 3 league kits for next season. So if we win the league, the kit is breathtaking. You're right, Eros. If we win the league, you see me in all 3 of them next season. No cap. All 3 of them the day they come out. We don't win the league. Probably just the home kit, and we don't go near anything else. Big up Eros. Beresford said urine coloured kit, but it will be worn by urine Tillemans. I mean, you must be a dad, Beresford, because that is a dad joke if ever I read one. Urine Tillemans. I mean, it's a dad joke if ever I've seen one. But anyway, let's stop with the merch along, people. I've shown you enough. They're not all confirmed anyway, but I think that home kit is going to happen for sure. People saying time out for Beresford. It's a granddad joke, people are saying. But we're here all week, people. I respect the effort. Anyway, let's move on from the kits. No more merch, but I think the home kit is definitely one that's going to happen. Right, let's talk a bit of news. Let's start with Thomas Partey. Obviously, many of you will have heard the news about Thomas Partey. I'm going to say something here, and I've got to be a bit careful how I say it, but also I'm just going to say it as well. We've got to really start looking at the way players are managed and look at the setup, what players are going into before they're going on international duty. Because, you've seen before players go into certain countries and the pitches aren't great, the training's not good. You know, we saw that time when Aubameyang was sleeping on the floor in the airport. And, as somebody as myself, I've played football in the Caribbean and trained on pitches that are, rock hard and bumpy. Thomas Partey will fly back to Arsenal, having missed Ghana's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Angola on Monday due to injury. Partey felt something in his right leg during a training session on Sunday. Sources close to the player insist it's not a hamstring injury and believe he should be fine for Saturday's game. So fair enough. I calmed down because of what we've seen at the end. Apparently he felt something in his thigh during training, and I think Arsenal did the right thing this time by getting the physio over there. Because let's be honest, if Arsenal's physio is not over there with him, would Ghana have risked him and played him in that game? Because without knowing, and we don't know, maybe they would have risked him. But luckily, the physio was there, and the physio obviously said, listen, he can't play in this game. Whatever the problem is, he's not well enough to play. So I respect the physio, and I respect the club for learning. And you may have to do that more often. Because unfortunately, this brother comes back injured. A lot of you saying you want to see his passport. I don't know what goes on, but he breaks down more than a 1985 Ford Escort, people. So, do we risk him against Leeds? Gunnar8 said leave him out for Leeds. Can we afford to? I don't think at this stage you can afford to. But at the same time, we play Liverpool the following week. If he's fit, he's got to play. If there's any doubt about him, then you've got to leave him out. That would be my sort of thought process behind Thomas Partey. If he's 100% fit, you've got to play him. We've got 10 games to win the league. We can't look at any fixture on the fixture list and say, listen, it's only Leeds at home, we'll beat them. We saw that against Bournemouth. I was predicting 5-0. next minute we're hanging on and, we're celebrating like lunatics. So we can't underestimate anyone. We cannot underestimate anyone, people. So if he's fit, he's got to play. Simple as that. If there's any doubt, if he's 70, 80% fit, then you don't play him. So that's kind of where I'm at with Thomas Partey. Full strength every match. Exactly. We're out of all the other cups now. Prem, it's got to be full strength. Curtis taking shots at the Ford Escort again. Sorry. It's the first one that pops back in my head. Southern Gooner, thank you for your super chat, bro. Hope you're well. Curtis, my question is, why are they even playing international games after a World Cup that just took place? These games should be played in the summer. These games were a waste of time and dangerous. Arsene Wenger made this suggestion a long time ago that internationals should be done over a period of time where international players go away for like maybe 4 weeks and play 7 or 8 games. Get all of them out the way at once. It would be a painful 4 weeks, but we're 10 games away from the end of the season and we're playing internationals. Players are flying all over the world. Some of these countries are playing friendlies. It shouldn't be happening. I agree with you. They have to do something about international football and the timing of these fixtures. It shouldn't be happening 10 games before the end of the season. So big up to you. Wit said I'm Ghanaian and I didn't want Partey to play for the AFCON qualifiers. There you go. There you go. Matt said 10 games to go. I have to go full strength every game. 100%. 100%. Every game has to be full whack now. Edu really needs to sort out our midfield in the summer. I'm getting sick of always worrying about if he breaks down. You are spot on. We cannot go through a whole season just thinking Partey. We need Partey fit and available because he's not reliable. Listen, he's our best midfielder, but we know it doesn't always happen where he's fit and available. I mean, this season, he's actually played 23 games. Out of 28. So he's only missed 5. It's been better. 24 was his previous record. So let's hope he should get way beyond that this season. So he's improved, but we can't rely on him. We need better. Thank goodness the international breaks are done for the rest of the season. Partey is like Kleenex. Full strength every game, all or nothing. Yeah, and exactly like somebody just said there, if he plays and we're playing well and we're winning, you get him off. 20 minutes to go. If we're 3-0 up, get him off the pitch and you keep it moving. So he has to start. He has to start. There's no room for messing around. There's nothing. There's nothing that you can take a chance on now. You've got to go full strength every single game. And try and win this title. Because what you got to remember now is a lot of these players are fighting for survival now. So you find that teams at the bottom of the league, they start nicking wins now. And, you can't fall short at this stage in the season. Anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Let's talk about a player. We're talking about the need for a midfielder. We speak about him pretty much every day at the moment. That is Declan Rice and Peas. A big story in the Standard Sport today about Declan Rice again. I mean, it's daily rice at the moment, people, which ain't good for your diet. Let me tell you that. Stay away from the carbs. But they've written this long story about Declan Rice again, saying that Arsenal are attracted to Declan Rice as he could operate at the base of the midfield or as a number 8. Rice's character also suits the culture Arteta has built, and he comes with glowing references for his work ethic and his leadership qualities. And apparently, Mikel Arteta has even spoken to Gareth Southgate about his profile and his work on the training ground. Listen, we know that players like Guendouzi were let go because of their attitude, Aubameyang and players like that. He wants people that will run through brick walls for him and players that he can rely on and trust. Declan Rice will tick those boxes. He trains well. He's available nearly every week. He hardly ever gets red cards, yellow cards. It's interesting that they feel he can play in the number 8 role as well. It's a role we haven't really seen that much of him. It's believed as well that Chelsea have shown some interest, and also Manchester United, but apparently Man United think he's too similar to Casemiro in terms of the role that he plays. Chelsea have offered a new 2-year contract to N'Golo Kante, so it's believed they may be looking for a more attacking midfielder, obviously with Mason Mount being linked with a move to Liverpool. So it's interesting. It is interesting, says Edin. Is it PR? Because sometimes what you've got to understand with football clubs, they will feed out a story that they want a certain player to make another club panic. So maybe they could be sitting there going, right, we still want Caicedo, right? We offered 70 million for him in January. We believe we can get him in the summer. But what we're going to do, we're going to feed out all these stories that we're going for Declan Rice. Because then they're hoping that Brighton will panic and go, actually, we can't turn down 70, 80 million for a player that they paid 3.5 million for. It just surprises me how heavily we're being linked with him this early in the season. I don't know, and it's being fed, it's coming out from everywhere. So either the deal is practically done and that's why they're feeding it out, or it's a smokescreen for somebody else. It's just crazy how we're speaking about him so much. You know, David Ornstein's mentioned him. It's been on Sky. It's in the Standard. It's been on it's everywhere. So it is interesting. It is interesting, Declan Rice. Listen, you got to look at it from the outside. If Chelsea want Declan Rice, surely he goes to Arsenal ahead of them. I know he's a boyhood Chelsea fan, but Mason Mount is his best mate. He could be leaving. Chelsea will be lucky to even be in the Europa League next season. Why would you want to go to Chelsea, not in Europa League, with a manager whose future is uncertain, new ownership model? You don't know where Chelsea are going to be over the next couple of years. With Arsenal, especially if we win the title, he would want to come and play for us. He's good mates with Saka. You stay in London. You play for a team with a manager that's there long term. He goes straight into that team. I think it works completely. Mel said it's a smokescreen for William Carvalho. Wouldn't surprise you, would it? Gunnar 8, get Ben Jacobs on. I have spoke to him recently. I'm going to try and get him on in the next few weeks as a transfer season starts to heat up. Caicedo and Rice will be great. Personally, MO7, I think we'll only sign one of them just because of the numbers that those guys will cost. I think if Arsenal were to sign two midfielders, we might go and get somebody like Rice or Caicedo that might cost 70, 80 million. I think Arsenal would then go and get somebody cheap. Like it could be a Yuri Tillemans who's a free agent in the summer or somebody like that. Jack Wilshere's bigged him up. Apparently the two were very close at West Ham. And he said that, listen, he would be perfect for Arsenal. So, Curtis, didn't the rumours about Jesus come around? Yeah, they did. That's a good point. We were all fuming about Vlahovic. Started getting linked with Jesus. And to be fair, we did get that one done. Sheets of Metal, what's your take on Balogun playing for the USA? I think it's a good move. Listen, he's frustrated. The problem with England at the moment, if you're a young striker, you're just not going to play. Harry Kane is England's number one, and because his game isn't built around speed, he's 29 now. He will be England's striker for the next 3 or 4 years. Benzema and them guys have played till the mid-30s. I think Kane will be the same. His game is not built around speed. So I think Balogun is frustrated that he wasn't in the England squad. He's born in New York, born in America. The US want to call him up. The next World Cup's in America. It's an opportunity for him to become a hero, you know, and play international football. I think he should probably go for it, if I'm being honest. I think he should probably go for it. If he chooses to play for England, I think that path is going to be very difficult. Kane's number one. You've got Ivan Toney. You've got Calvert-Lewin. You've got Watkins. You know, I know those other strikers are not world beaters, but it's difficult. And they're established in the Premier League as well, and Southgate seems to like picking players who play in the Prem, so I think he could go and play for America and make himself a lot bigger. I think he should go for it. He's also friends with Musa, who obviously would come for Arsenal's youth team. Agree he should go for the USA. Dr. Bird, I'm from New York. Big up to you, bro. Wonder why Nigeria isn't mentioned. Again, it could be because of Osimhen. In his mid-20s, they only play one up front. You're going to go there and be a backup striker. If he plays for America, he starts. Yeah, he's young. He needs to relax this move one, Jay. What are you saying? Take your time and see where it takes you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, people, if you haven't already. Nearly 1,700 of you in the chat. Great support. Big up to everyone who's followed me on TikTok. Got a new video out on there today. Going to try and get daily uploads on there from now on and try and build that up as well. So make sure you follow Curtis Shaw TV on TikTok, people. Welcome to New York City, the Big Apple. I can't wait for the announcements for the Arsenal pre-season tour. Obviously, they announced Washington. But apparently they're going to play another 2 games over there in different cities in America. So looking forward to seeing where they go. One of the rumours was that there would be one in New York. Potentially one in LA as well. At the Kroenke Stadium. So it'd be interesting with that one. Kane to United, Osimhen to Arsenal. I'd love Arsenal to get Osimhen, that is for sure. Anyway, let's move on. Couple more stories, people. Couple more stories. Daily Dusan. Do-do-do. Daily Dusan. It's back, people. You all thought it had gone in January, but like a bad smell, it is back again, people. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting what they're saying, people. Dusan Vlahovic could be set to leave Juventus this summer, despite only being at the club for 18 months. After Juventus have grown frustrated with him at the club, many fans even saying he doesn't suit their style of football. Now, at the moment, Juventus are 4 points off a Conference League place, 6 points off a Europa League place. Obviously, they had 15 points taken away from them. They'd be second in the league with those points, so they'll probably feel hard done by with that. But Vlahovic, he scored 15 goals in the past year. People saying he's gone missing in a lot of the big games. Scores a lot of goals for Serbia, but not in particular for Juventus. And Juventus, obviously, are in financial issue. They're going to be fined. They've had points deducted. And they feel this could be an easy sale for them to make this summer. How do you view a potential move for Dusan Vlahovic? We know that he rejected us in January. Now, I don't actually take the rejection too seriously. I know there were stories that, you know, his agent was saying they were ignoring our phone calls, blah, blah, blah. He said quite openly his dream was to play for Juventus. He was at Fiorentina, he wanted to play for Juventus. He never actually disrespected Arsenal publicly. His agent said a few things that we didn't like. We know that. But is he worth the money? We're going into the Champions League next year. We know that for sure. We have to add another striker, a better striker. Are you still caught up in what happened last time? Him rejecting us? Do we go for someone else? I'll tell you my opinion on this. I'm not too caught up in the fact that he didn't come to us. We were 8th or 6th in the league. We weren't an attractive proposition at the time. Juventus was his dream move. Hasn't worked out. My issue is, reading the story, Juventus are asking to recoup close to the 70 million euros that they paid for him, which is around 62 million pounds. Now, for me, do you know what? There's only one way to settle this, isn't there? Let's get the first poll of the day, people. 62 million pound, Dusan Vlahovic, yes or no? Would you take him in the summer? Now, my only issue with signing Dusan Vlahovic is this. If he comes to Arsenal, I think he'll be on a downer. He got his dream move and it flopped. And now he's ended up at Arsenal, right? I think if you sign somebody like Ivan Toney, he will be hungry and he will be delighted to be there. And I think the hunger is a main part of the reason why we've done so well. So, for £62 million, if we got him, I'd accept him, right? Because he is still a good player. But I think you can get Ivan Toney, number one, for cheaper. And number two, I think you get a hungrier player that knows the league. So, that price, I'm not sure. Has anybody watched him much recently for Juventus? I got to be honest, I don't watch Serie A that much. Anyone who watches Juventus in the comments, how good is he? Is he unlucky? Is it just a style or philosophy that doesn't work at Juve? Big up Snake Eyes. Get rid of Fabio Vieira and get both Rice and Caicedo. That would be a stronger midfield. How many kits do you have? Which is your favourite? Do you know what? One of my favourites is the burgundy one. I don't know why, Maybe because it's just different. And I remember watching Henry at Highbury in that kit, so it always stands out. I love the blue kit that Henry scored the hat-trick in the Champions League away at Roma. The one where he scored the volley against West Ham, the blue with like the lightning on it. I love the gold Wiltord one as well. So yeah, I know I've mainly not said home kits there, but yeah, they're ones that stand in my memory. Big up Snake Eyes. SG said, I've watched Dusan. He's not that guy. Go and get Ivan Toney. I'm with you on that. I got to be honest. I think you'd get him for cheaper as well. James O'Connor said, I'd much rather a younger Højlund over Daily Dusan. We spoke about Højlund the other day. I was bantering, is this the B-Tech Haaland? But people saying he's very, very highly rated. And interestingly enough, this story with Juventus says that if they sell Dusan Vlahovic, they want to replace him with Højlund, the guy who's at Atalanta. So maybe we should just skip and go and get him. Big up James. Ivan Toney will get suspended, but I don't think it will be more than 2 or 3 months. And so he won't be missing for long. Could Toney be in jail by this? We get him for cheap anyway if he's locked up. He's bad on the ball, not going to work with Arsenal. He's playing like Giroud's first season at Arsenal. Full swap with Eddie, otherwise no, I'm not sure Juventus would want Eddie. You press yes by accident, said Tay Brown. If we can't go for Toney, we need a different profile. South London's finally said I'd rather get Toney as well. I'm with you on that. Young Gunner said, man left us undelivered last January. Don't want players that don't want to play for us. I'd say he's decent at best, but we should go for Mitrovic. Mitrovic is an interesting one. I think... Are they international teammates? I think they are. I like Mitrovic. He's a beast. Me personally, listen, I would like to go and get somebody with a more of a willingness to play for us than what he had. I know it was his dream move. And if we signed him, it would still be a positive thing. I would back it. But I'd rather get somebody that was like celebrated joining us. I just think if he joined us, it would be more of a, he'd be on a downer. You're just getting him out of a difficult situation. So yeah, it's one of them. It's interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, maybe nobody would want Mitrovic after the way he got sent off the other week, going crazy at the referee. So that one probably won't work. Big up Young Gunner with the super chat though, bro. Bro, we were in the mud at the time. I don't blame him for rejecting. You can't. Milinkovic-Savic apparently wasn't interested in joining us last January. Apparently he wants to this summer. The game is the game, people. The game is the game. 62 mil for him. Hell no. Rather pay double to get Osimhen. He's one of the hottest strikers at the moment. Let me end the first poll. 72% of you saying no. Don't go anywhere. You ain't coming to us, bro. You didn't want to join us when we were struggling. You ain't coming to us now. We're better. So, yeah. Listen, if we got him, he's still a good player and he's a good plan B. That is for sure. But I think you can go elsewhere. I think, listen, like somebody just said, Anne's there. I'd rather have him than Eddie as the second choice if we're keeping it a book, So, yeah. But it'll be interesting. It sounds as if Juventus are willing to let him go, which is never a positive thing when they've only had him for a year. Why would they want to sell him this early? Just a little bit of news regarding Leeds United, who we play at the weekend. Tyler Adams, who's one of their best midfielders, a player that was linked with Arsenal, American international. He's had surgery on a hamstring injury, which means he will be missing the game against Arsenal this Saturday, which is a big blow for Leeds. Positive for Arsenal, no Tyler Adams. And Wilfried Gnonto, the Italian winger, who has probably been, from what I've seen, probably Leeds' best player this season. He's come back from international duty with an injury while playing for Italy, although he is said to be 50-50 whether he recovers in time for this game. Personally, I hope he's not playing because he is a danger. He's very, very quick. And I think one of Leeds' best players this season is actually being linked with a move already. to a bigger club in the Premier League this summer. So no Tyler Adams, potentially no Wilfred Gnonto. We've just got to handle business and get the job done. Somebody just said there is Ivan Toney Champions League level, and that's a good question. That is a good question, and we wouldn't know until we did the deal, unfortunately. I know a lot of people have said they want Osimhen, but Osimhen's going to cost you 120 million, and he's not necessarily going to want to have to fight for his place with Gabriel Jesus. He's going to want guarantees that he's going to start every week. Assassin said, Curtis, hear me out, bro. Upgrade on Ramsdale. We can't enter the Champions League with him in goal. We should get Mainan from AC Milan, France #1. I saw his save the other day against Ireland. I've said this before. It's controversial. Do you... What I would say is you sell Matt Turner, you sign a second goalkeeper, and you let them really go at it. And we see if Ramsdale is Champions League quality or not. My issue would be if Ramsdale isn't Champions League quality or he gets injured, then Matt Turner is not good enough. I've still got question marks about Ramsdale in the Champions League, but I think if we win the league, he would have probably earned the right to see how good he is in the Champions League. I would say, could you sell Matt Turner and then go and sign another goalkeeper? But we'll have to see. I do think we could sign another one. That is for sure a better one. Do we get Emmy back? Obviously wouldn't happen. But yeah, Mainan, I don't know how you pronounce the brother's name, but definitely a good goalkeeper. Fact, Snake Eye said, I agree. Mainan broke my heart on Monday night with that save, says Cormac. Oh man, last minute, what a save. Sebastian said, Big C, Balogun is the answer. He's balling right now. We can use the funds elsewhere. I just think with Balogun, if somebody puts dough on the table, and I'm talking 40 million plus, you've got to understand our record signing, our record sale is £35 million. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Alex Iwobi. We haven't sold anyone for big money. Now, if a club offers 45 million for a young player with a year left on his contract that really wasn't in our plans, I just feel like Arsenal would consider taking that. Unfortunately, they've also got to be mindful of the fact the striker market is limited. You can't afford to sell a potential top quality striker for 40 mil if he becomes a world beater in the future. Big up my bro Akeem. If we win the league, Ramsdale might go to another level next season. I think if we win the league, Ramsdale deserves to go into next season as first choice in the Champions League. He would have earned that right because he'd have got us over the finish line in them big games at City, at Liverpool and so on. What I'm saying is, do we get a better second choice keeper? And do we have kind of two #1 goalkeepers fighting for that spot? And then you push Ramsdale to a higher level. That would be my opinion on it. Sell Eddie and keep Balogun, said One Love. I wouldn't mind that. I think you could sell Eddie for a half decent price just because of the little run that he had in the first team this season. You probably get 20 odd million for him. Kieran Tierney might give us that big money. I mean, I want to keep Kieran Tierney, man. Even last night, anyone who didn't see, watch his performance for Scotland last night. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. Two #1s fighting, winner takes it all. That's what I would do, but will Arsenal do that? I'm not sure. Let's finish off, people, with a cut. Well, I've got one or two more stories, but Bukayo Saka story broke yesterday. I'm sure many of you have seen it. It is a bit of a clickbait story, but I suppose it is the reality. Bukayo Saka will earn close to £15 million a season when he finally signs his contract with Arsenal. The true value of his deal, inclusive of bonuses and other attached payments, is closer to 15 million, taking his weekly wages up to £300,000 a week. Wow, what a deal for Bukayo Saka. I mean, let me just say, it's not his basic salary. So they've clickbaited it. You know, you don't talk about most players and mention their wages, including their bonuses, right? You don't go, oh, you know, Foden signed a deal for 220 grand a week. But they don't say, oh, it's 300 grand a week with his bonuses. No, he's on 200. This deal will be 200, 220, 240, 250, somewhere around there. 40, 50, 60 grand a week in bonuses. It is what it is, you know. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, he's on 300 grand a week and let's increase the pressure and blah, 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 as they do. He's going to be top earner at the football club. He's probably earned it. He's been player of the season back to back. Every chance he could be player of the season this season. Double figures, goals and assists. The rumours are that Manchester City were seriously lining him up as well, which I always said. City gave us Zinchenko and Jesus. Obviously, we paid for them. I said there's going to be a time when they come back for Saka because Mahrez is nearly 32 and they're going to need a right winger. And I always felt that they were going to come back for him. And I think they were coming back for him. And I think this is why Arsenal have offered him so much money, because if Pep turned up and put the bag on the table with a year left, we would have had a major problem on our hands. Nimbo said that is still acceptable. Sancho's on 350k. That's true. Dan said, I Curtis, I'm worried that 300k a week might start to bring on rest. I mean, first of all, as I said, Dan, it's not 300 grand basic. He'll be on about 200 grand, 220 grand basic wages. You've got Jesus on 200. You've got Partey on 200. These guys are picking up dough. I think Zinchenko's on about 140 as well. So it's not like he's getting loads more money than them. He's also been our player of the year the last 2 years. So in reality, you can say he's earned it. He's the starting right winger for England. He's the starting right winger for Arsenal. Player of the year 2 years in a row. He's probably the favourite to win Young Player of the Year in the Premier League. Obviously, Haaland will probably win Player of the Year. He can still actually win Young Player because he's 22. So he could win it. People saying it's £203,000 a week basic. Well, there you go. He's getting 3k a week more than Jesus, which I think he's justified that. Man City won him. England's starting player. So I think the 300 grand is sensationalism, mentioning how much he's getting with bonuses. So for me, I've got no problem. I'd rather see Arsenal paying players a little bit more and keeping them than doing what we were doing 5 years ago, which was allowing Alexis Sanchez to run down his contract and leave. So at least they're learning. It's progress. Big players get big money. Foden's on 220. Sancho's on 350. I don't know if anybody saw yesterday, a story came out that PSG offered Rashford £400,000 a week in the summer. It's the going rate, people. So it is what it is. And I have no problem with it. I'd much rather keep him and overpay him a little bit. So, yeah. Listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in today. 45-minute show today. There's not loads and loads to talk about, although we have had a few stories to talk about. I will be back on tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow. And what have we got? Yeah, international breaks finishing. Streams all the way for the week now. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday will be press conference reaction. Saturday, double watch along. We're doing Man City against Liverpool, 12:30 kickoff. Then straight into Arsenal against Leeds, 3 o'clock kickoff. So there'll literally be a 15-minute gap between both, straight over. And then that's it. We're in. That's it. Head down, 10 games, end of the season. And can we win this Premier League, people? Just thought I'd bring up this, actually, before you go. Don't go anywhere. This calendar that I thought was interesting to bring up. This is the Arsenal calendar between now and the end of the season. And as you can see, the interesting thing about this calendar is plenty of breaks. They're honestly, and I'm not saying this to create more pressure on Arsenal, but we've got difficult games, of course, but when you look at the schedule, it's not bad. It's not bad. When you look at this, we play Leeds on Saturday, 8-day break till we play Liverpool next Sunday. 7-day break, play West Ham. 6-day break, play against Southampton. Then there's a midweek game. I mean, that week's crazy. Man City on the Wednesday and Chelsea on the Saturday. But a lot of these weeks, Champions League games, Europa League games, FA Cup semi-finals, there's no excuse for fatigue in this team. And that's why I'm saying, when somebody said earlier, should we rest Thomas Partey? If Thomas Partey is fit, he should be playing. We have to pick our best 11 every game. There's no time to go, oh, let's give Fabio Vieira a run out. Let's give Kivior a run out. No. Players are going to be unhappy. Full strength every game. This is our schedule until the end of April. And we said that April was the month where we were going to figure it out. You know, Liverpool away, City away, Chelsea at home. Those three in particular are the three where you're like, you got to get results. We play City and Chelsea in the same week. I know we're saying one game at a time. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. I think this weekend, and I've said it many times, I think this weekend is going to be a pivotal weekend in the Premier League title race, because if, and it is a big if Liverpool can take anything off Man City this weekend, whether that's a draw or a victory, and we beat Leeds and we get to 10, 11 points clear, I know they'll have a game in hand, but that is the kind of lead that I think we need. If Man City turn Liverpool over, I think they'll have a real spring in their step, and we could have a major problem on our hands with the fact we go to Liverpool the following week. So I think this weekend's going to be massive. And it's interesting to see how the players came back from international duty. So looking forward to the game this weekend. Big month ahead. Lots of watch-alongs and lots of midweeks. We'll find out at the end of the season whether, as Duffelbag said, the Europa League exit is a blessing. I argued with Robbie about this. I said big club mentality. You've got to try and win everything. But if we win the league, then you look back on that Europa League exit and say, do you know what? It helped us win the title because we have all these midweeks to recover, to train, to allow us to recover while City are playing Bayern Munich, home and away, FA Cup semi-final. Then they get Chelsea or Real Madrid if they get through. I actually hope that Man City beat Bayern Munich because I want them to have fixtures every 3 days. I want their squad to be burnt out. You'll never walk alone. Every Arsenal fan will be you never walk alone this weekend. That is for sure. Snake Eye said, Big C, I don't want to see Fabio Vieira this season. Please pass that message to Arteta. We go full strength. We go full strength, people. Right, I'm rounding up there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe, follow the Curtis Shaw Clips channel, follow Curtis Shaw TV on TikTok. Like the video. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Double watch along on Saturday. Man City against Liverpool and then straight into Arsenal against Leeds. Massive weekend. Enjoy your Wednesday, people. Thank you very much for tuning in and I will see you all tomorrow. Bless.